What is going on, everybody? Yes, welcome to Red Wine Conversations. How are y'all doing this evening? I am so excited about this show. So, first off, I hope y'all caught the part one of The Angry Black Woman, which was solely my perspective. And I gave it from my perspective as someone who has been accused of being an angry black woman the majority of her life. I've dealt with it on a personal level. I've dealt with it professionally, a whole lot professionally. So that's why I kind of felt like this was a great, great topic to come on and talk about. So I hope y'all caught um, the part one, which was my perspective. So part two tonight, I got the fellas on the patio with me. Pretty Ricky finally made it to the patio after all of this time. I'm so happy to have you on the patio, Rick. Appreciate you coming and sharing your time with me. And then we also have as a guest this evening, Mr. Eric Ingram. How are you, Eric?
I'm great.
Thank you so much for joining me on the patio tonight.
Glad to be conversating with you and your platform.
Well, I appreciate that. I feel like, well, let me put it this way. I feel like this has been a great opportunity for me to reach a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And the more that I'm on here and the more shows that I do and the more that I'm out and about with people, it really surprises me the amount of people who actually listen to the show. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know you. Like when you came up to me in concert, I was like, you listen to the show? And
absolutely,
like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it happens to me all the time. Or matter of fact, I was at Casa again when I was promoting the show, and I talked to the lady. What was her name? That was a friend of yours, and she was like, "Oh, you the one to do the show with Rick?" And I was like, "Yeah, Rick's on my show." And she was like, "Cool, yeah, I like Rick." She was like, "I listened to your show." So I'm like, "Wow." So the more I'm out and about, and the more I talk to people, like I'm really surprised at how many folks listen to Red Wine Conversations. So I absolutely love it. I can't stop now. Too many people are, I can't say gassing me up. What's the word I'm looking for?
Motivating you.
Motivating, definitely. So many people are motivating me to keep going. Ooh, is that me? Let me turn that off. That was me echoing. I was like, why am I hearing myself? But yeah, so many people have given me such great positive feedback about the show that I feel like I can't stop now. Like I want to keep going and passing on as much information and share as much of me, because most of the time what I share is real life. Like this my life. Absolutely. This is my story. I'm not telling y'all anything that I haven't dealt with, been through. A lot of people want to speak on things they've never done. I'm not speaking on things I'm telling you the stuff that I have dealt with. Hey, Tara, welcome. Tara says this show is what the world needs right now. Keep going. I gotta pop that up. Thank you so much, Tara. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm trying as many people as I can possibly reach, and now like I've been going out and really promoting the show, and when I'm out and talking to people, that's something I typically hadn't done before. Right. And so now I'm like, I really need to grow my audience. Like, who knows where Red Wine Conversations may take me? So I'm always out. Hey, have you listened to the show? And then I was talking to a friend today that was telling me about this young man that went to, I believe it was TSU, who developed this coder pen that, how instead of carrying around business cards to hand out to people to talk about, because everybody's into their devices and electronics now. Right. There's the pen is encoded with your information, and so all they have to do is take their phone and scan the pen, and it'll pop up all of your pertinent information, like your social media, how to watch all that information pops up.
Put business cards out of business.
Exactly.
So my sister's business is about to go.
Yeah, it's about because I think that's gonna really catch on, because that's a nice little gadget. When she was telling me about it, I was like, yeah. Oh, I need me one of them.
Yeah, you gotta get one of those.
Yeah, and then she said you can get it in any like I could get it like my logo or whatever I want to have on the pen. I could get whatever I want on it, and you know, and it would, they all they'd have to do was take their phone, you know, the camera, scan it, and it would pull up all the information on Red Wine Conversations. I was like, hey, right. I was like, I need to get me one of those real soon. Hey, Sherry, welcome. Everybody's checking in. We're just sitting here gossiping right now. We're going to get into the show, though. I have digressed and went all over the place. But what I want to get back to is the angry black woman. Now, did both you gentlemen watch part one? You watched part one. Did you saw part one too, Eric?
A little clip.
You saw a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. But we talked about it.
Yeah, we did talk about it a little bit when I saw you. So what I'm looking for from you gentlemen tonight is that oftentimes us women think that we know how men think or what they want or what y'all are thinking about.
Right.
And a lot of the time, what we think that y'all think ain't what you think. And so what I would really love to have, and I don't want this show to be about, it's not about female bashing or anything like that. That's not the purpose of the show. The purpose of the show is to share with the ladies what y'all really think.
Our side of it.
You're you know, in dealing with the angry black woman, whether it's been on a personal level or whether it's been on a professional level, like oftentimes what I would, and we kind of talked about this on the first show, those angry black women are oftentimes misunderstood, and sometimes it's about, you know, I talked about confidence versus cocky. And I can say for myself, oftentimes in the workplace, in the professional setting, when it comes to men, is, oh, you think you know just because you a man, so you want to tell me. Instead of instead of that woman stepping back and going, we see men as competition, as opposed to co-workers, counterparts, you know, unless I'm over you and I'm managing you, then I see you differently. But if we just co-workers and you trying to be like, how you gonna try to tell me what to do? We on the same level. You don't know. So I want to get that male perspective of how you felt when you've encountered that, whether it be professional or personal. And do you, and see, and this is the other thing I was surprised about when the majority of the men that I asked, because the majority of them said that they do understand the plight of the black woman and why we're upset and why we're angry.
I think most men,
y'all just don't know how to fix it. That's what I got. We just don't know how to fix it. And so I want y'all to elaborate for those females that are listening, for the black ladies that are listening, or the ladies in general, period. When you encounter what you would consider that angry black female, whether it be personal or professional, what was your perspective? What's your thought process? And do you really understand, like, the plight of the black woman and what we go through? That's what I want to get from you gentlemen, because you have to admit the black man does add into the plight of the black woman.
Yeah, I can agree.
Okay. So, hey Terry, welcome. So I want to get. Let's start off with what do you guys consider to be the example of an angry black woman? Because your idea and our idea may be different. So tell me what you would consider an angry black woman, that if you encountered her, what about her would make you consider that?
I can say work-wise with me. There's a lady, she's always, you know, she didn't do it the way I like it done. But of course, I wrote what needed to be done. So I knew how it needed to be done. So I would have to come at her carefully. Because the second I said, hey, you know, I think if you try it this way, it'll be better. The time I done that, rah, And I mean, she went all in. And I was like, and I talk like I always talk. I said, so what's going on? I said, talk to me. We don't have to have this conflict. Because I'm not mad. I'm just and so man.
Well, what did she give you a reason why she went off?
Yeah.
Like what was her reason?
In the end, once she calmed down, once she saw that, I was just like, okay, when you done, talk to me. She was like, all these men always, because there's a lot of men where I work. So all of them been telling her, you ain't doing it right. You got to do this. You got to do that. And she was just sick and tired of him. And I just happened to be the one that caught the explosion.
On that particular day, you just don't happen to been the one to ask the question, ask the wrong question.
Yeah, but me being laid back, I would just let her say whatever. And some of the guys, man, I'd have done this. I'm like, y'all know how I am against women. I let them just do what she gonna do. And then once she calmed down and talked, and she was all right with it. She was like, yeah, you're not like the rest of them. I said, no.
Okay, so here's my question. When you may or may not know this. So were the other guys telling her wrong? Or were they telling her the same thing that you told her? She just didn't want to hear it from them.
It was the way they delivered it.
Okay.
Like
she
was not smart or she couldn't do the job. And that started weighing on her.
Right.
And I had to talk to them and say, hey man, y'all gotta watch how y'all talk to these women. I said, absolutely. That could be your wife. I said, do you want some man talking to your wife like that?
Yeah, that's true. Now that is why I say you have to admit that men do add into it.
I can tell you sure they do.
Yeah. I mean, and because it's not always us. Men definitely, because I can say I've experienced now, just for me in general, because I like to do a lot of my own home improvements and different things.
Right.
And so when I have a man come in and like I'm trying to tell him something how I want it done. And then he wants to try to talk to me like I'm stupid and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That pisses me off. And I do have to catch that angry woman from coming out at me. But yeah, so I get it. I do get it. It is all in how in the delivery. But sometimes some women it don't matter how you say it. Right. They're gonna be mad, true. Regardless. But at least you were able to. Don't laugh at me, Sherry. But at least you were able to talk to her afterwards. After she came down, and you did something good. And I'm gonna tell this secret. Ooh, you did something perfect. Don't argue with her.
Yeah,
you're wasting your energy, your time, your breath in arguing with her. Don't.
I'll let you just. You'll be arguing with yourself.
Yeah, and most women we like to argue. Well, back in the day, I can say old Karen, before I went on my journey of self-reflection, old Karen did like to argue, and I would argue with somebody in a minute, and we would debate all day long because I was the type that you cannot tell me that I'm wrong. You cannot do it. And so I get how she felt in that moment. If I had a bunch of men trying to tell me something different, because that's the way we look at it. And again, like you said, it depends on how they delivered it to her.
Yeah.
And so in delivering it to her in a certain time to belittle her, because a lot of times in the workplace, especially with men, especially if you got a woman doing the same job as a man, they do tend to look down. Y'all got to admit that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a part. That's going to be a part of my answer. So when I get
well, go ahead. Go ahead. Jump in. Go ahead.
First of all, I definitely think that there are angry black women. So let's get that off the table.
100%.
But I am pro women. You've seen my little girls. I got 2 little girls that I do everything for.
They so cute.
I grew up in a house with 5 guys. So dad, 3 brothers, and a sister.
Okay.
So we did a whole lot of stuff around the house. It was painting and cutting wood and working in the fields. But the thing that we did when we left the house was we were told to do one thing, and that was protect those girls. You have to protect those women. I had a situation where the little boys talking crazy to my little girls in school. So, but I take them in school every day. And so they told me, that it was going on. So I said, hey, and to keep in mind, the teachers are all there. And I said, hey, little boys, hey, why don't y'all come on over here? They were like, huh? Huh? I said, y'all see these little girls? All these little girls around the room?
Mhm.
Y'all need to protect these little girls. Their their safety depends upon y'all. They was like, okay,
It goes back
mister.
to my
Okay,
modern male.
mister. Yep.
They don't have
And
the examples.
I haven't had any issues with those
Yeah.
little boys since.
Yeah, the examples, the example of, and like I said, that goes
Mhm.
back to the modern male show. The example of what men should and should not do and how
Yeah.
they should treat women
Yes.
is lacking
It's
nowadays, which
Yep.
does add to our anger. I
Absolutely.
have to admit
Absolutely.
it is lacking because we run into some fools,
Well,
and it but
hmm
I want you men to help us to change that, because I hate that stigma of the black woman that we're always angry. We can't even voice our opinion without people feeling like we're upset.
Right.
And but then at the same time, and I'll give you an example, because like today, I
Mhm.
went to Walmart to return some curtains. I keep trying to get red curtains to put out here to do a zip enclosure.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Red wine, yeah.
And so I keep ordering them, and and this one came, and the online it looked red. The color description said brilliant red. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be perfect. It came in, it was mahogany or magenta or something. So anyway, oh, my camera's slowing up, flagging. But anyway, so I take them back because I ordered it from Walmart. So I take them back to Walmart. And so the girl was having issues pulling it up, and she kept trying to scan. There was no receipt. I gave her the order number that I had, blah, 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 everything. And she was like, well, let me see another one. I was like, well, they're all the same. Yes, ma'am, I know they're all the same. I'm just trying to help you. And I was like,
Right.
whoa.
Right.
I said, I'm just saying that they all the same. There's no need for you to get, I'm not getting upset. Well, yes, you are.
You at that point.
Yes, because it was not necessary for you to raise your tone at me just because I said they're all the same.
Right.
And so then she had to call somebody else over to help her. And that person showed her what she needed to do. Because she just said, well, it's not coming up. I don't know. It's not coming up. Yeah. Well, don't take your frustration about your job out on me.
Yeah. I think that's workplace anger. I think anger with women is divided in like 4 categories.
Okay.
It's like workplace anger, like you were talking about. And I think a lot of that is because, number one, you do have these misogynistic, these men that don't feel like you should be there in the first place.
Oh, yes.
So I've been in management since I graduated college. So that's over 25 years. So I'm in those meetings. You know what I'm saying? I see it every day. And so that's a real deal. And the woman, the way you guys are made up, you want to be right. You know what I'm saying? You want to be right. So when they're butting heads with you, telling, like your situation, they're butting heads telling you you're not right. You guys, it's a defense mechanism for you guys, to kind of go off. As for relationships, if you're in a relationship, married, whatever it is, I also think it's a defense mechanism for a woman to always be right. A woman doesn't want to really, in my opinion, really admit wrong. You said you were like that back in the day.
I can admit that women women do have issues with admitting when they're wrong.
Absolutely.
I can admit that. I can only speak for myself. In the past, yes. Yeah. In the past, I would have an issue with admitting that I was wrong.
But everybody's not where you are.
That is true. That is true.
And so it's happening. It happens a lot. And so, men kind of get accustomed to it. We try to deal with it. We try to communicate it out. And another part.
Well, see, now hold up. Let's back up. Because see, here's the thing. Men and women communicate differently.
That's true.
So you have to take a step back and think, is it that she really doesn't want to admit that she's wrong? Or from her perspective, And
She's
in
right.
her mind,
She's right.
she's right.
I got it.
And she just can't see
Yep.
your viewpoint.
Absolutely. That's part of it.
Yeah. And
Men
so
are from Mars and women are from
yes,
Venus.
yeah, well, we
Every
are
day.
emotional,
Yep.
and women are always about how things make us feel and
Right.
how we feel in that particular moment.
Right.
That's the thing that drives us.
Yeah.
And so in that example, if she's in her mindset, because it was all about how she felt,
Right.
and she felt she was right,
Mm-hmm.
and she's having difficulty. So how do you like how I'm trying to get around to get them in. How do we get past that? How do we communicate better? What is something that you can see from a male perspective that may help in that particular situation for the woman to see that he's not just like, I think is that they don't understand, or we don't understand sometimes, that you're not really trying to say, oh, you're stupid, you're wrong, blah, 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 because that's how we perceive it sometimes.
Right.
The way y'all give it, because y'all give it kind of matter of fact and with the logic. And we like, what you trying to say? I'm stupid that I didn't know?
Right.
Like, what is it in the communication cycle? How can we change that so that we recognize you're not really putting me down. You're just trying to give me a different perspective or a different viewpoint or share your viewpoint.
I can say from me personally, I need to learn how to communicate better.
Yeah, you said that. You said that before.
I am extremely weak in that. Mine is like this, do, and that's about it. I say exactly what needs to be said. I understand it, but I don't know if.
And she may not have understood it.
Right.
But I think that's 75+% of men.
Yeah, it is.
We a lot of stuff that you guys take as from this side of the room to that side of the room, we look at it that big.
I can agree with you.
And we want to just move on and go watch the game.
I can agree.
You know what I'm saying?
You.
So
yes.
It's like, again, Mars and Venus. I don't know that we're ever going to get to a point where we're going to understand how to. I would definitely try to keep communicating. Don't shut her out. You know what I'm saying? If she's really, this thing is really bothering her, because 9 times 10 it doesn't bother us at all, or much.
Sometimes it bothers us that it doesn't bother you.
Exactly.
Be like, what? Why are you not upset about this?
Right.
Like, I'm upset. Like, why are you not upset about this?
Exactly.
And that makes me even more angry. Cause like, what do you mean?
But that's what I said.
Yeah.
Keep, instead of me shutting down, going to watch the game, just keep talking, keep communicating. Don't, and because I can remember sometimes my wife is like, what did you say? Did you even answer me? That, you know, I'm being short like him. Ooh, but I'm not even realizing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just ticking her off. So
I always say what I have to say.
And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they seem to want more.
Yeah.
And I really don't feel like I have to give you more. You should have understood what I said.
Right.
That's something I have to work on personally.
Absolutely. I think all of us do.
Now, yes, I will say this. I will say this about women. And I have to, when I say I completely and totally understand that perspective, because I do have a lot more male traits, I feel like sometimes, than I have female traits. And when women ask me 15 million questions about something, it irritates the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. It irritates me. I'm like, what about this did you not get? And so I get it, because I am a matter of fact, blunt, straightforward person. That's just, that's my personality. That's how I am. And when people come behind me and they want to ask 15 million questions, like, oh Lord.
Really.
Yes. And then I come off and see, and this is where I was talking about last week. So then when I get irritated, now I come off as condescending because you don't work my nerves. And now I'm looking at you like, you getting on my last nerve. And so I'm going to talk down to you when I give the answer.
That's the angry black woman.
Yes. And so then they become upset because who you think you talking to like that? Yeah. And so I do get it, and I do understand. But if y'all can admit that communication, especially you, and you said it a few times, Rick, that communication is the issue for you.
Oh, yeah.
how do we
All of
turn
us.
that corner, especially from a personal, and even if the answer may work, it translates over to a professional level, even if you figure it out on a personal level. That communication can go
Right.
on all different ways.
I seem to do better communicating on the professional level.
Yeah.
The personal level is when it gets weird.
But I think I think that's men and women though. I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think women kind of take us for granted sometimes, and they may do stuff to us that they wouldn't do to their family and
Oh,
friends.
100%.
You see what I'm saying? They wouldn't do to their family and friends, wouldn't do to their boss, but they kind of blow us off, kind of like thus the angry black.
Yeah, but then that goes back to previously. You take me all the way back to why women do what they do,
Mm-hmm.
because you allow it.
That's true.
There's certain things that if you don't nip it in the bud the first time you see it and you don't like it,
Mm-hmm.
initially when you do it, if you don't address it then she's gonna feel like if you didn't address it then it's okay for me to do it from here
Yeah, it
on
keeps
out.
getting worse. Yeah.
And it's gonna get worse and worse.
Yeah.
And then when you finally do say something about it,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing she gonna say is, well, you didn't have a problem with it before. Now why all of a sudden it's an issue? Hey, James, welcome. You know what? I tried to reach out to you. Yes, I tried to reach out with you. I actually wanted to see if you would be interested in coming on this show tonight. So I appreciate it. But Terry made a comment. We know our triggers as women. We do. We know our triggers. Men, women, we know our triggers. We know men. Any woman who knows her man, we know your trigger. And like you say, we're gonna say and do stuff.
Yep. Would never do.
Yes, that we would not do to someone else because we know that's your trigger.
Yep.
And
but you can trigger me to shut down.
And that's what they really do most of the time. It's like
you can hit something, and I will.
Because we don't want the confrontation. We don't want the argument. We want to just be left alone. So we will, like you said, shut down and just go somewhere else. But you guys are like, what? No. Where you going? Wait. Let's talk.
Yes.
And so that's where the disconnect comes in. So
especially if y'all feel like, are you listening, ladies? So it comes in like when we keep going, y'all done shut down. You not hearing nothing.
We ain't trying to argue and fight,
which just makes her even more angry.
Yes. Yep. We ain't trying to do all
that. Okay. So it sounds like to me, and I am this way. Like if I recognize I've said something, and it really only comes from the fact that I have gone on this journey of self-reflection, and I really understand how I am and how people perceive me, and how they could possibly get that perception of me. Right. Based on how I carry myself, based on the things that I say. Like I can see it now. In the past, I'd be like, that ain't me. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But when I'm being really honest with myself, yeah, I see it. And so one of the things that I know that we do as women, and I've done it before, I did this with my ex. If you don't argue with me, if you don't get upset about it as much as I'm upset about it, I feel like you don't care. And when you ain't upset and I'm upset, you don't care, which is gonna make me even more upset. And so I had to learn everybody ain't on that same level. Everybody doesn't respond the same way.
A lot of guys are really mild-mannered.
Yes.
But that's the thing that attracts you guys to the bad boys, so to speak. Because the bad boys will show you how they feel, and they could possibly even get physical with you. You know what I'm saying? But you know where they stand because they may have grabbed you, they may have shouted at you, they may have, you know what I'm saying? You saw emotion out of them.
Some guys women do like that.
Guys like me, I know. I don't know about Pretty Ricky over there, but
Ricky like to choke them, but you know. But
choke him out, dude. Choke him out.
Pretty Ricky like to choke him.
Yeah, so I was more or less looked at as a good guy. You know what I'm saying? Like good guys finish last and that type of thing.
We had that show.
Yeah. So and they do, But what happens is you just have to change your program. You have to do something different. If you keep going for an interview, you keep not getting a job, you got to do something different.
Which is why I say, if you keep having the same problem with different people or everywhere you go, the common denominator is you. It is not anybody else. It is you.
I'm a good guy.
I could tell you.
I was always the one that, all the little girls like.
Yeah.
But they like me as a friend because, I was mild, man.
I'm in the friend zone.
I was easy to talk to.
Yeah.
But see, my friend zone, once you hit the friend zone, I sleep with my friends.
See, now, I have to say, I'm not.
So don't friend zone.
And I get that bad boy perspective that you just gave. I 100% agree with you. I can see that. And you're right. Mm-hmm. Especially a lot of the younger women are really into that.
Yes.
And they feel like, oh, he's all emotional, upset, arguing with me. That means he cares. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't, if he didn't care, he wouldn't get so upset. But that ain't my cup of tea.
No, he may just like whooping girls' ass.
Yeah, that's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I say this all the time. Yes, James, women are emotional creatures and men are logical creatures. Two totally different mindsets. Right. I say that all the time. All the time. But here's my thing. Here's where I think, and this took me a minute to get here. And I talk about this all the time. Really, for a man, if you want to know if he cares, you have to pay attention to his actions. He shows you his care through his actions. But fellas, when we upset, all that logic, and I've given this advice before, all of that logic goes out the window.
Yep.
Hold on. Terry said, this guy told me he and his wife were arguing really bad. He wanted to walk away to calm his attitude, and she blocked the door and cornered him to talk to her. It turned out really bad. Yes. And women need to stop that. They need to stop that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. If I'm really upset, and I had to learn this about myself, because I would get angry and I would get upset, and then I would say or do things and then regret them later.
Yep.
And a lot of women do that.
Yep.
We say and do things because we're in that emotional moment, and then we regret it later. And so I'm like that now. Like, if I get upset, you gotta let me walk away, let me calm down. And I'm gonna tell you, you know what? We'll finish this conversation after I calm down. So I get that from a male perspective, that needing to calm down, or that shutting down, because I'm not about to argue. Right. Which is how I felt in concert the other night with dudes. Like, I'm not going to keep going back and forth with you about this. And I actually had to do that with a friend of mine. They got upset over something that I said that they misunderstood. And I kept trying to explain that they were misunderstanding. Right. And what I said was, I'm not going to keep debating with you about your feelings. Like, I can't debate with you about how you feel.
Right.
There's nothing I can't debate with you on that. Right. So you feel how you feel. There's nothing I can do about that. So I say that to you fellas, because when we in that angry zone, and y'all still trying to throw logic at us,
right?
You got to stop and flip it. You can still get your logic across, but you got to make it about how she feels. That is the key to the communication with women.
All we can do is say, you right.
No. That's the wrong thing to say.
That usually works.
That's the wrong thing to say. Again, that goes back to, don't start something you don't plan on keeping. Right. So if you always about whatever you want, it's your way. The first time you tell her no, oh, she going off the deep end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She's going to lose her whole mind.
Yes. So if it's something that you don't want to deal with, don't be like, okay, you're right. Yeah. Communication is key. And I think that is the problem for that angry Black woman in a relationship. Now, I have to say this in defense of the fellas. A lot of times, women bring in baggage from previous relationships.
Yes.
And because he did this and he did that, now she's sitting back waiting on you to do it, or she's expecting you to do it, or thinking that you may do it because that's how he did and that's how he treated her in the past.
Right. A friend of mine at Casa last night mentioned that, because I had told her that my, 3 reasons that women are angry for, like we talked about, workplace relationship, and then public anger. And then she said, don't forget about bitterness.
Yes.
And I was like, so shout out to Charlene Vaughn for bringing that up.
Yes.
So yeah, bitterness is real.
At 100% real.
Yeah. So
Yes.
and and that's that could go both ways. A lot. What women have to realize is a lot of men aren't about their best interests. A lot of men have done a lot of stuff wrong. Just in the workplace we were talking about. Those men may not be the worst men in the world, but they are harassing you in the workplace. That's not good. And I have many women that graduated with engineering degrees like I did, and they went into my field, and they basically, it was such a toxic environment, they went into other fields. They like, I can't deal with the men. The men didn't want them to be in positions over them. So they gave them hell. They gave them hell every single day. So there is a man problem. 35% of men in jail, black men. So these are some of the guys that you guys are trying to date. They don't have your intentions, good intentions, and So but it's up to you, to use your processes of how you relate to people and see people for good, bad, indifferent, and you just have to choose wisely.
But see, now here's my viewpoint on that. Here's my viewpoint on that, and I absolutely agree, because this new modern man is all about him.
Absolutely,
he's all about him. The leadership is gone. It's all about who he can get over on, who gonna take care of him, all of those different things. So I absolutely agree with you.
Right.
But here's my perspective on that. If that's the type of man that she accepts,
absolutely,
that's on her.
Absolutely.
And what I find that happens a lot of times, and matter of fact, I had this conversation not that long ago with a friend of mine, and we were talking about dating and meeting guys and all of these different things and going out. And, because I said on the show once before, I date for entertainment. Like, I go out, for the entertainment. I date for entertainment. I'm not looking for a relationship. I date for the entertainment.
Right.
And so she and I were talking, and I told her, I said, you know what? I can't even think about going into a relationship with someone unless I'm physically attracted to him. Like, I can look at a man and be like, oh, yeah, he look nice. Oh, he's nice looking. He's handsome or whatever. Mm-hmm. But if we don't have that chemistry, then I can't, like, and so, they were like, oh, you need to open up your mind. You need to broaden your horizons, like, step out there, try some different things. You never know. And, he may not be the right one, but you can fix this and you can fix that. And I'm like, no. No,
right.
Because if we don't have that connection, we don't have that energy, you can't even touch me. Right. I can't even fake like I'm into you touching me.
Right.
It doesn't work for me.
I think men our age, I guess we probably around the same age. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am too. Exactly. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think we appreciate that though. We appreciate a woman that'll deal with you because they're attracted to you, because there's been so many that dealt with you. They could care less.
Right.
They could care. They just looking for us.
And that's exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
he got a good job.
Yeah.
He got this.
I can use him for that.
Right. He may not be cute, but he got a good job. He take me out to eat. He do all these things. And I'm like, okay. But if in my mind, and I'm being honest, in my mind, if I date him or we get married, all I'm going to do is cheat on you because somebody else that's going to come along that I'm physically attracted to, that's going to get my attention, because you're not holding my attention, because I knew going in, I'm not physically attracted to you. Yeah, so I can't fake that funk. Right. But a lot of women go in, and Terry had made a great comment here. This is not Build-A-Bear. A lot of women go in and they think that I can change him. I can change that. Oh, he may not do it this way, but I'm gonna train him, and
Right.
I can teach him.
No, we don't train well.
Yeah.
Right, and then they
We
get
don't-
upset and see that leads to the bitter, angry
You're gonna
woman.
see who we are the first week we date.
When
Yeah.
he's not
we
doing
ain't gonna
things,
alter far
right. He's not doing the things that you wanted him to do,
Right.
and now you upset and you mad. But that's not who he was from the jump.
from that. And she knew it.
She knew it.
And she knew it.
She knew it, and she was waiting to try to change him. And I'm like, you can't change a man. So that adds to, I feel like, in my perspective, the bitterness sometimes in a personal relationship that you men deal with, because now she's upset because the previous dude didn't do it.
Yep. Now they didn't switch positions. Now instead of you being number 2 like you're supposed to be, now you number 1. So she want all the things she was getting out of number 1 out of you.
Yeah.
And she ain't really got no number 2 right now, so she want that too.
Mm-hmm.
And that just gets ugly.
Yeah. Some of them have that perspective that they can change people. And I keep saying, no, you cannot change someone.
No, not at all.
They have to want to change. Now, she did kind of give, clothes wise, yes, I might see someone be like, no, he ain't, what he got on ain't cute. But, oh man, it's draining my battery. I thought I had it charged enough. I hope we're still streaming. I got about 12 minutes, y'all. We might shut down. I had it plugged in and charged. So if we shut down, y'all know my battery died on me. Oh, good God. I guess because I was out here trying to figure it out and get everything going, I ran my battery down. Not even it. What she said, when you meet someone, let me pop this up. Terry said, when you meet someone, that question I hate is, what are you looking for? Let me see who you are, Ella. Yeah, but that's a whole, we getting off the subject, but I hate that too. I hate that too. What are you looking for? What do you want? All of these different things. I don't like that either. But we getting back to the angry black woman. And before my laptop dies, because I thought I was fully charged before we went on. But I guess in the process of sitting up and doing all these things, I didn't pay any attention. But anyway, back to the angry black woman. I know a lot of times we're upset or we're holding on to that bitterness from the past that we want to put on to whoever it is that's in our presence at that particular time, which is unfair, which is one of the things that I said in the first show. How long are you going to hold on to that
Are
bitterness?
you using it as a crutch or is it genuine?
I think it's a crutch.
Okay.
I think it's a crutch. Okay. I think, and the reason why I say that is they use it as a crutch because then when it doesn't work out or something happens, then she can always say, I knew it. I knew it. I knew that's who, I knew from the jump that's how he was. But no, he wasn't like that from the jump because you kept saying that's who you are. Right. Like,
yeah.
You
didn't beat him to death with that stick.
I got a question.
Okay.
So what happens when you go into a relationship and both of y'all have baggage?
That's a toxic relationship. That is an extremely toxic relationship. And yes, Terry, that makes me angry too. When she's talking about when people ask that, yes, that does. It makes me angry when like I'm not. But here's the thing, and I'm getting off the subject because I'm gonna go back to what Terry said. Women get mad when a man asks that question, but we ask it all the time. What you looking for? What you want?
Right.
I don't know what you want. Tell me what you looking for. Mm-hmm. We say it all the time, but then we don't want to hear it.
No, I agree.
From the man. But I'm not like that. Like, I don't ask because I'm not looking for nothing. Like, I could care less. Like, I want to get to know you organically.
Right.
Like, I don't have this list. And a lot of times women they got their list. We want this, and we're going to check those categories off. And when you don't meet those particular check boxes, then it makes us angry and we move on.
Yep.
Or we want to argue with, and this is the other thing. And ladies, let me say this. And I said this on the other show. This is something we get upset about all the time. And I want to go back because Tara kind of talked about it. She brought it up, and I didn't pull this one up. Let me find it, Tara. She mentioned, I must have passed it. I think it was Tara. She talked about a lie. I don't see it now. She must have took it down. She must have took it down. I don't see the comment now. But yeah, she mentioned about lies and catching people in lies, and then you know that they were lying, and then they want to deny it, especially, and then you go through all of that.
If you just start dating them, I mean,
Here's my thing, ladies.
You gotta ladies, cut the ties.
Here's my thing to the ladies. If you know he lying,
right,
and you know you caught him in the lie, why are you even taking yourself through that?
Exactly.
Why are you wasting your time, energy, and your breath? Because you know he gonna lie about the lie. If you know it's the truth, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh, that was Terry's comment. Thank you, Tara. I thought it was you, Tara. I'm sorry, it was Terry's comment, and I was looking. Oh, yeah, it is. You were right. Thank you, Tara. Tara, I love my listeners. I love my listeners. Thank you, Tara. Yes, Terry says, don't argue with me about a lie that turned out to be the truth anyway, because I'm really going to be that angry, that angry black woman, because you took me there for no reason. But if I know it's a lie, I'm not even finna go through all of that.
Yeah, what's that argue about?
Yes, I'm not gonna argue with you about it.
I'm at the point in my life where
keep it moving.
I'm gonna tell you what it is.
Right.
We have to deal with it from there.
But you know what? But a lot of people are not like that. A lot of people want to argue about it. They want to prove a point. And I don't understand what the point is that you looking to prove. Right. Or then when he does admit that he was lying, how does that change the situation? Right. Because it doesn't.
Right. Right.
And she was like, well, I just need to know that I was right.
Yep.
Why?
There it is. There
Why?
it is.
If it walk, what's the saying? If it walk like a duck and it quack like a duck, it's a duck.
That's right.
It's a duck. So why are you putting yourself through that stress and that confusion and that anger, trying to force him to tell you what you already know is true? Like, I don't get it.
It's they value being right more than anything else.
No, they value hearing the man tell them that they were right.
Yeah.
Because I already knew I was right.
Right.
I already knew when I asked you that I was right.
Yeah.
So what is it that you're expecting? Why are you allowing that man to make you that angry? Why are you allowing him to take you there? Well, you already knew.
Are you trying to belittle the man? Are you want to be?
I don't know.
On that, you want to be up there while you make him feel like he's down there.
Some women, I can honestly say have that. I had a girlfriend that was like that.
Yeah.
And what used to be so funny, and in my honest opinion, I would definitely categorize her as an angry black woman. But what used to really trip me out about her, she said, when I hear it out loud, Karen, it makes so much sense. Thank you, Terry. And that's what this show is all about. When you hear it from a different perspective, you're like,
yeah,
I never thought about it that way. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. But this friend of mine, when I say, even as a woman, I would sometimes be like, oh, man, I couldn't date you if I was a man. Like, if I was a man, there's no way in hell I could date you.
Right.
She was all about that control, and she had to be in control. Yep. And he had to jump when she say jump. Yep. And if he didn't jump when she said jump, it was a problem.
Was she married?
No, she wasn't married to him. Okay. And then, but here's the kicker. But then she thought less of him as a man.
Yeah, when he did it.
Because he did those things.
Absolutely. That's how the game works.
And so I was confused. And so I would always ask her, but if this is your expectation of him, and he does, so that he don't have to hear you complain. Mm-hmm. So he does it to make you happy. And then the first thing you want to say, he ain't no man, girl. He do whatever I tell him to do.
I hear that a lot.
That confuses me.
Constant BS. I hear it a lot.
I don't understand that. You want him to jump when you say jump, but when he jumps when you say jump, then he's less of a man.
Like an oxymoron.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because when I say literally this guy, it would be he go to work, he give her his paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You had to come home, give him a paycheck. She gave him an allowance. He could, she had to know where he was at. All of these different things that she required for him to be in a relationship with her. Mm-hmm. But because he did it, she looked at him as less of a man.